Okay, this is a reaction video. Culture shocked Americans share the things they didn't realize were so American. Now, I have not seen this. I don't know what this means. Things they didn't realize were so American. Now, there's a few things I know that are uniquely American. I won't say uniquely American, but let's see what this is all about. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and let's get down to it.
Americans have read it. What is something you didn't realize was typically American until you went abroad? Having your drink constantly refilled.
Yeah, that's one thing. If you go to into a restaurant in the United States, refills are generally free. It's not so abroad.
Restaurants. I just wanna drink a ton of water, alright. Garbage disposals in sinks. When I moved to the UK, my flatmates asked how in movies people would stick their hands in the sink drain, and it'd be ripped apart.
Because there's a garbage disposal in there.
I told them about garbage disposals and they were very weirded out.
That's interesting. I thought that was something that everybody has nowadays. Yeah, you live and learn.
Red plastic cups for parties.
Yep, that's another one. You can buy red plastic cups. That's a staple. If you go to most parties in the United States, or go to a tailgate, they have the red plastic cups for parties. Not so around the world, I'm guessing.
So much so that people outside US use them as an accessory to American-themed parties. I doubt this is restricted to America in any way, but when I studied abroad in the UK, the lack of public drinking laws was a bit of a culture shock.
Yeah, if you're drinking a beer, just standing outside, just drinking a beer, that's you'll get a ticket.
Being able to walk outside with a bottle of beer was very freeing. Root beer is apparently disgusting, and an offense to most of the world's
Horse hockey. I love root beer.
palate. Having plenty of free bathrooms around for the public to use.
Well, that's right. When I was in Mannheim, Germany, I had to pay €1 to take a piss.
When I went to Australia, I found out very quickly that no one down there roots for a team. They go for a team. So when I said I root for the Red Sox, I got a lot of weird looks.
That's just a word, it is what it is.
Rooting means effing in Australian.
Oh, well, there you go.
Free public restrooms. When I visited Europe, I thought it was the strangest thing that you had to pay to use a public restroom.
Now, that wasn't always the case. It was just in Mannheim that I had to pay €1 to take a leak.
There's a big shortage of water fountains once you leave the US, I've noticed.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of water fountains in Germany, but to be fair, I wasn't looking for many.
Sugar. When I visited Japan, even some of their sweetest desserts pale in comparison to how much sugar is in American food.
Yeah, we love our sugar, and we put a lot of sugar in there.
Not an American, but I can always spot Americans at the airport, because they take off their shoes at security, even if it's not required.
Yeah, in the United States, it is required, unless you have, like, I'm TSA pre-screened, so I don't have to take off my shoes. But if you, in the United States, if you go to an airport, through security in an airport, and you're not TSA pre-screened, you will have to take off your shoes.
Portions.
But it's a nice telltale sign. Portion sizes in the United States are generally huge.
Sizes. My high school senior trip to London. As a typically ravenous appetite 18-year-old, I couldn't get over how small everything was standard.
Yeah, that's true.
Dressing likes to do stuff like grocery shop. Went to the Netherlands for about 2 weeks, and we never saw anyone dressing comfy.
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't get in our Sunday best just to go grocery shopping. That's not what we do. But apparently in around the world, they get in their Sunday best to go pick up a loaf of bread and some milk.
Like, everyone looked nice, everywhere, at all hours. You catch me walking through Walmart at 3 AM and I'm wearing old PJs, whatever shirt I happen to exist in. And
I've never done that. I've never gone dressed and wearing old PJs. But, look, it's been like, keep in mind Fahrenheit, not Celsius, to my foreign watchers, foreign people who watch this. It's like, 12 degrees Fahrenheit or whatever it is, and I'll throw on shorts and a t-shirt and go out, and because I'm only going to be outside for a few seconds just to pick up a few things. But no, I've never done it in PJs or anything like that. That's something I've never done.
And in probably not wearing socks. I was struck by the extent to which nobody talks to strangers in Northern Europe. Even in big cities in the US, people will talk to each other sometimes in line, on the subway, etc. Not deep conversations, but it isn't weird to make casual conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
How large grocery stores are here. My wife is not American, and we lived in China, and were in HK all the time. They had large international stores that were great, and she didn't really grasp the size of American grocery stores
Yeah, most American grocery stores are generally pretty big.
till our first week in the USA, and there's 150 feet of cereals on one aisle.
Yeah, there's a lot of. We like our cereals, that's for sure.
Being friendly to an extent, I checked in at a hostel and walked into the lounge area where people from all over the world were just chilling. I kinda introduced myself to the whole room, and someone goes, "You're from the States, yeah?" And I'm
Sometimes we do give ourselves away like that.
like, "Yeah, how do you know?" They said, "Only an American will walk into a room of strangers and introduce themselves to everybody."
Well, makes it harder for you to want to rob us, right? Not that you would, but you know them, then you probably don't want to steal from them. And I don't think everybody in foreign lands are trying to steal from us. That's just a thought.
My British friend makes fun of me for how much cheese I use in my cooking. Doesn't stop her from inhaling my potato casserole.
Yeah, we like cheese.
But there you go. Buying stuff and the cashier putting your items in a plastic or paper bag. Went to Germany and found it strange they don't bag your items. Everyone just brings their own bag or dumps their stuff in a backpack.
Yeah. In America, you could, in California, you have to pay for your plastic bag, but yeah, paper or plastic, and they generally provide that for you.
Measuring walking/driving distance in blocks. It's the unit of measure I use most frequently when giving directions. The restaurant is 3 blocks away. Go south 1 block, and then 2 blocks west. I live 6 blocks from the grocery store. It wasn't until I studied abroad in England and got a complete blank look.
That's one of those things. You get used to doing things a specific way, and then you go to another country and they look at you like you're even though you're speaking the same language, you're actually speaking a foreign language.
When I asked someone how many blocks away the library was, that I realized using block as a measurement only makes sense in cities that were largely pre-planned and built on grid system. Aka, not many places outside the US.
That's true.
S'mores.
Oh, what's a s'more? I can imagine that they have no clue what a s'more is, and if you don't know what it is, that's what I'm guessing because I haven't seen the whole post. But s'mores are graham crackers with chocolate bar and marshmallows.
In New Zealand having a bonfire on the beach and someone went and grabbed a bag of marshmallows and then everyone just ate them by themselves. And someone from Sweden asked me if s'mores were a real thing or only on TV. I was flabbergasted. This all could be due in part to the fact other places don't tend to have graham crackers.
Yeah.
Massively wide roads/lanes. The whole of Ireland made me feel claustrophobic. But when I got back home the roads felt like way too much wasted space.
Well, again, I've never been to Ireland, but I've seen pictures. I've seen people drive on the roads in Ireland, and yeah, I can understand that. But yeah, in America, the roads are generally quite wide. I think it's because of the female drivers, but don't hold me to that.
24-hour stores. It's weird not being able to buy random shit 4 a.m.
Yeah. That's the thing in America. We have 24-hour stores.
Cold drinks. Every European country I visited, the drinks would best be described as cool. But
yeah, when I went to get Sprite, it always came without ice. In America, you always fill it with ice, and that was took a while to get used to, but it was okay.
Definitely not cold like in the US. It is a Japanese culture to always greet someone as a sign of respect, but I feel uneasy that Americans sometimes looks at you and do a half smile.
Yeah, don't think anything about that.
While not saying anything.
That's just...
The stereotype about us being loud is true. I never thought of myself as being loud until I went abroad and would hang up the phone After speaking in what I thought was appropriate volume to find everyone around me was staring at me and realized how much more quiet they were. All whoops.
Yeah, that I've heard people talk about that. That's because we generally don't get as close up to each other when we talk to each other. But hey,
Ask any soldier after multiple deployments what one of the most remarkable things about America, and it would be massive grocery stores. Road trips, at least just jumping in the car and driving a few hours without giving it much thought. I live in a large western state, and it seems at least every other weekend my family and I were in the
they sure as hell aren't doing that right now with gas prices the way they are. Look, I realize gas prices are more expensive abroad, but that's because I'm guessing a lot of people don't drive a lot of cars. Maybe they do because you have the great public transportation. United States public transportation sucks, and you certainly aren't doing it right now with gas prices the way they are.
car traveling for a few hours to see some sight. Going to Mexico or another state. I have relatives in Switzerland and they were going to drive us to the Frankfurt airport, and I was blown away how big of a deal it was.
If you're in Switzerland going to the Frankfurt airport, Switzerland's to the south. Frankfurt's up, I believe, in that Rhine-Ruhr region on the western side of Germany. I was in Frankfurt, and I believe it's the second biggest airport in Germany. I'm going off the top of my head here. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below. But I guess that would be a big deal to them.
Was to them. My uncle had the car inspected, shopped around for gas, and printed off travel and weather reports. All for a trip my dad would have said, hey, let's do this weekend.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. They would have said something, let's go to, it's not just, yeah, if you say let's do it this weekend, he probably says like on a Wednesday or Thursday, hey, let's go. Like where I'm at, let's go up to Cleveland. Cleveland's 2 hours away. Now, I think Switzerland, depending on where they are in Switzerland, is a little bit further away than 2 hours away. But yeah, I can understand that.
In the car, kids. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yep, that's a staple in the United States.
On a related note, no, Vegemite and butter are not an adequate substitution.
The first time I ever heard Vegemite was in the Men at Work song, Down Under, and I had no idea what Vegemite was, and I eventually learned.
Know who you are. Keeping Akon 100% of the time in the summer.
Depends on where you are.
Visited Madrid for about a month to see the exchange student we housed, and found out they typically only turn on Ak at night to sleep, or when it reaches a damned 105 degree F.
Wow. In America, it could be like 70 degrees and we'll turn on the air conditioner. Just depends on who you are and where you live, but it really depends. Not everybody does that.
Eating a burger and fries with your hands.
Is that a bad? Yeah, I assumed everybody did that too.
I just assumed everyone did this.
Yeah, if you went to like a McDonald's or an In-N-Out or something like that and got a burger and took out a knife and fork, people would stare at you like, what the hell are you doing? Just pick the damn thing up and eat it.
I went to Sweden with my boyfriend and we stopped at a burger joint. Small local place. When the chef heard we were American, he immediately wanted us to try a specialty burger he made and tell him what we thought about it. They were all excited when we picked it up with our hands and we realized everyone else in the place was using a fork and knife. Burger was 11/10.
Good burger. I was 11 out of 10, so it was a good burger. But hey, yeah, that's how we do things. When you put it on a bun, we pick it up and we eat it.
Water pressure. Yours showers.
I'm trying to think. I have never seen anybody eat a hamburger with a knife and a fork unless they order it without the bun.
Like a flower watering pot. I like to feel my shower. Like, make the pressure strong enough to tear my skin off. Then
yeah, that's one thing. We like our showers, the water pressure to be pretty strong.
back it off like 10%. I grew up in the US and moved to Europe about 10 years ago. I learned quickly to get out of the habit of smiling or saying hello to strangers.
Yeah, now, not every American does that, but I've been in a situation where I'm going to a grocery store and I'm just happen to we meet eye contact, and it's just being friendly. Just smile, nod your way, and then go on your merry little way. I guess you don't do that in Europe or around the world. It's something I've gotten used to. I don't think of it as anything strange.
On the street, I didn't understand why people found it so off-putting at first, because I thought I was simply being polite. A European friend explained that it comes across as funny/untrustworthy and puts people on their guard.
Well, damn it, people, learn to have a little bit of backbone about this sort of thing. It's not being phony or untrustworthy. They're not trying to steal something from you. We're just just nodding that your existence, and it's not that big of a deal. But okay, I guess different strokes for different folks. That's how things are done in the United States. Done differently where you are.
It can still be hard sometimes to shake the feeling that I'm being rude by not smiling at everyone I pass by. Here in the States, pregnancy announcements, reveals, baby showers are mainstream, but it's generally a big no-no to bring it up in Kenya. My mom found out the hard way. Essentially, asking someone when the baby is due is the equivalent of asking the person when did you and your husband F, which is
again, yeah, you're asking what is basically a very, very simple question, a very what's the word I'm looking for? Innocent question in the United States. If you say, when's the baby due? Or you're pregnant, but if you ask that question, they're asking, when did you and your husband have? Well, I guess I can understand that to some extent because of the baby. If they say the baby was born in October and it's 9 months, that's probably how they look at it. But in America, no, that's not a big deal. We know how the babies were conceived. We know how they got there. Okay, it's not that you need to give us a blow-by-blow explanation as to how it happened and all the nooks and crannies.
Considered extremely rude. The lady my mom asked was gracious about it, but said if we were not such good friends I would have slapped you.
Yes. You get one of the things I do believe that if you travel abroad to different countries, or you come to the United States, there's a lot of things on YouTube like Walter's World that'll tell you what to do and what not to do, what's right and what's not right. And I'd planned to if I'd made it to France in 2020, I'd have done the same thing.
I'm not American, but visit the US a lot, and I tell you, almost all Americans has this habit of giving the half smile look to anyone. That is not just normal anywhere else.
Again, different. That's one of the things that it's just being friendly. Don't look at it any other way.
Getting to choose from like 50 different types and subtypes of sodas. Hearing commercials advocating you to go to the doctor and demand a prescription for whatever fantasy pill is new to the market on the radio like it is no big deal.
Yeah.
Going out to a restaurant. In America, you are seated as soon as possible, and then they bring you drinks, appetizers, entree, dessert, and then check as quick as they possibly can, if it's good service, for a total time of 45 minutes to an hour and a half-ish. Staying past this time is seen as a bit rude. In Europe, going out to eat seemed to be more of an event that you slowly enjoyed for a longer period of time.
Now, I've never actually been in that. I know what they're talking about. And I guess there are some places that would make you think like that, where you are seated as soon as possible. That is true. And they will bring you drinks, appetizers, entree, dessert if you want one, and the check as quick as possible. But they aren't trying to rush you out of the restaurant. That's just not the way it works. If I go to a restaurant and I sit down and I order my appetizers, it'll come when it's ready. My entree will come when it's ready. If I want dessert, I'll come when it's ready, and then they do the check. I've never been ushered out of a restaurant or told you have to leave right now, or anything like that. I know in Europe, and from what I understand, you can go in there and you slowly enjoy. They want to keep you there forever. It's like I said, I understand what this person is saying, but it's not. I've never had that experience in the United States.
First, they bring you drinks and an appetizer for the first hour. Then the second hour is the entree and dessert. Then it's more drinks for another half hour or so. I don't know if it's because we were American, but it seemed like the wait staff everywhere we went was annoyed that we were rushing them.
Yeah, again, it's a different way of doing things, and I'll be honest. I didn't when I was in Germany. I did not go to a restaurant and do something like that. But I could just tell you that probably what they're talking about right now would have driven me crazy because you want good service. You want that. That's just what you said. You might look at it this way. My definition of good service and to my European cohorts, your idea of good service are completely different things.
When we just thought it was bad service and didn't understand the routine. The prices abroad don't add tax after the fact.
And okay, that's because taxes are different in different cities and different states and that sort of thing.
You pay what the price shows. No need to figure the tax.
I think I like that a lot better than they do in the United States, but I'm used to how they do that in the United States.
Dumb that we do that here. Shorts. I swear there are 14 million people in Istanbul, and I was the only one wearing shorts.
14 million people in Istanbul, and you were the only one wearing shorts? Well, well, when you're an American, sometimes we give ourselves away like that.
Shorts. Not American, but I found out that having an electric kettle is mandatory in every home like toilet paper, or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Canadian for reference. How are you? Being used in place of hello even with strangers. In the US, how are you needs, only to be replied with good, you, almost as a way of saying hi. Elsewhere people don't really know how to respond when a stranger asks how are you doing, or how's it going.
Yeah, all you need to do is say, how's it going? Good. And march on your merry little way, okay? You don't have to you have to search for the yearbook answer. You don't have to search for the greatest answer. That doesn't mean they want to start and have a big, long, drawn-out conversation. It's just, hey, how's it going? Hey. That's all you have to say. Just say, how's it going? Hey.
I did an art history course in Italy. What really stood out to me was the size of cars over there. Over here you have a mix of mid-sized sedans and pickup trucks/SUVs, with the occasional compact car. Back when I went, compact cars here were incredibly scarce. Over there, it seemed like most everyone drove a compact car, with the occasional sports car. I remember counting 6 pickup trucks in the 10 days I was there. For comparison, I can name more than 6 people I know with a pickup here.
Yeah, we do like our variation of our automobiles over here. That's for sure.
Parenting roles falling almost exclusively on the mother. Going to Denmark was weird. Almost all strollers were pushed by dads. There was billboards with dads snuggling with their babies, and they were much more loving and affectionate than I've ever seen.
It's kind of funny. As I said, parenting roles are different. In the United States, you usually see the woman pushing the strollers, and over there you see the dads doing that. But really, the parenting roles, at least in my family, were shared by my mom and dad. But we were not really, in terms of discipline. I remember my mom's dad was telling us that if you didn't behave, he was going to tell our father. And my brother mumbled under his mouth, goes, tell him whatever the heck you want. Just don't tell mom. She's the one we're afraid of. And it's not that my mom was like abusive or anything like that. She's hardly that. But that is something to be said. I guess in Denmark, the fathers are much more affectionate and loving than you see in the United States.
How colorful people dress. In pretty much every European country I've been to, people dress with really neutral colors without big logos or graphics. In America it's pretty common to have people dress in bright colors, or have a shirt with a cool graphic on it.
Yeah.
Europeans dress pretty fashionable.
I guess that's the word for it, fashionable. United States, we generally just whatever we feel comfortable on, and that's not something that I've noticed. I think a lot of people have made that notice before I did. But yeah, people just dress whatever what's comfortable. I'm gonna wear this.
But they aren't very expressive when it comes to clothing. Huge amounts of personal space. I know everywhere has the concept of a personal bubble, but for Americans, it's more like a personal iron curtain. Now I can't unsee the lengths that Americans will go to be far away from other people. Next time you get on an elevator or a metro in America, look at how perfectly spaced out everyone is standing to maximize the distance to other people.
If I got onto a metro in the United States, in Chicago, or if I got super close when there's plenty of space, people would be like, what the heck are you doing? Okay. I would get the strange look, but it's not that far away. It's just that, give me my space. I mean, I don't need to get that close to you. Again, I've lived all my life in the United States, and that's just how we do things. If things are done differently, or this offends you in any way, or if I get onto a metro or something like that, if I'm over in Europe, if it's required for me to stand 2 inches from you, then let me know. Okay, these are things I'd like to know. Please put in the share and the like. Put in the comments below. Tell me if I go to another country, or whatever country you're from, that I need to stand up that close to you. Like I said, I'm just doing what I think is right. And no, I'm not upset about any of this stuff. That's something that blows my mind when people go like this about the personal space. Well, it is what it is. Okay. Thanks for watching, like him. Please click like, share, and subscribe. And you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.